What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. Our first story today is time sensitive. For those wanting to save a little bit of money, there are two sales going on in conjunction that, while it's not a lot, it is something, and I don't want anyone to miss out who this would help. On the Humble VR sale side, you have 70% off both Fallout 4 VR and Skyrim VR, and honestly, with some modding, if you're willing to do it on these titles, they are absolute must-buys at that price. Also, Borderlands 2 VR and Rick and Morty are down 50% for the former, 30% for the latter. Even Superhot is 40% off. Now, this sale will run through the 6th. Other titles, of course, are available, and you know the link for this will be down in the video description. Also, on the Oculus Summer Sale side, that is also active, and while most Oculus sales aren't anything crazy, we know that every time it is still something. There is a 30% discount on a Superhot and Pistol Whip combo, and also a 32% discount on a Vacation Simulator and Real VR Fishing combo. Honestly, they're all great titles, not bad to get them together. Check out these and more through the sale going through August 9th, link in the video description. Our next story revolves around the whole Onward situation. It is a follow-up. There is a limited time update on the Oculus Quest, and PCVR update is live, but you probably heard the news because it was absolutely everywhere about the massive visual downgrades that the PC version took with update 1.8 to make it work with the Oculus Quest launch, and a new patch does aim to fix this. Patch 1.8.1 for PCVR users now includes a fix for the level of detail pops that you'll see when you approach an object, and fixing several assets on maps like Suburbia to improve the visuals. Slight improvements with more coming to ambient and gun sounds are coming as well. Also, for the PCVR players who want to go back to before the Oculus Quest version launched, going back to version 1.7 has the rollbacks available in beta on both Steam and Oculus for PCVR players to opt in and roll back to 1.7, albeit without the crossplay functions. I'm glad that they did this so quickly. I think it was pretty much a necessity, and I'm glad those PCVR players can have that visual fidelity that they've expected and had for so long. On the Oculus Quest side, you probably noticed the various game modes that are only available on private servers, and for a limited time, the gun game mode will be available to all public lobbies on the Oculus Quest. It's a staple of many multiplayer first-person shooters, and it's a solid time unless you're on a small map with the RPG. I've killed myself more times than I can count. We've also got some interesting news from PlayStation. This is kind of 3 stories mixed into one small segment, but you may have seen the news that both the DualShock controllers, the PlayStation Move controllers, and the camera as well will all work with the PlayStation 5, which was confirmed, so existing PSVR users can purchase a PS5 without worry, and thanks to a free adapter, use their existing hardware on the next generation console. But we also learned another State of Play presentation is coming Thursday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with a focus on upcoming PS4 and PSVR games, so much more VR focused than the 100% lack of it from the last State of Play. They even brought up Astrobot, and not one time was VR mentioned. I do bring the State of Play up because according to a report on VR Scout, Biohazard Declassified, a video game news site all Resident Evil and horror gaming, has a trusted source, part of the Resident Evil Ambassador playtest, who had hands-on time with the game, and the source claims that a VR version of Resident Evil Village is 100% planned. The team's just waiting on Sony to make the announcement. If this is true, it would be an optimistic guess that at this coming State of Play this Thursday, we may have an announcement of the VR version of this. I'm pretty positive most PC VR players have wanted the past Resident Evil BioShock VR version to come, but Capcom is Capcom, and I don't have much hope to see that on PC VR, but let's see what happens this Thursday. In our title story today, we need to talk about an absolutely just amazing interview that was done by Tony over at the Ghost Owls. Seriously, guys, I know Upload VR and all them are shoved into our faces daily, but blogs like the Ghost Owls and VR Scout, for that matter, are really doing great work. You should check them out. They're highlighting things that normal media and normal content creators, even myself, sometimes don't cover when we should. Please give them a look. One of Tony's most recent interviews is packed with information as he spoke with tech evangelist Robert Scoble, who also has a pretty great blog himself, but over the numerous topics they discuss, Robert had some predictions for the Oculus Quest 2, and he is extremely confident and has some sources that this could be a Quest Pro. Telling Tony directly to look inside and not at the box, combined with sources and some speculation, here are Robert's predictions. A better GPU. I think almost everyone can agree how needed this is. While the Oculus Quest can make small miracles happen at times, there are many other times it's just not powerful enough, and it is showing its lack of power with the outdated processor. A smaller and more lightweight design. Again, most who use an unmodded version of the Oculus Quest, hell, even a modded version, know neck pain all too well, and for longer, more immersive and satisfying experiences, we need it to be more lightweight design and better balanced. Also, better cameras to provide better hand tracking, room tracking, and maybe object tracking. Looking at pictures we have, it is noticeable that the cameras up top are much more to the side and could indicate better tracking areas. He also thinks it will be 90 to 120 Hz frame rate that can be set via software. Now the refresh rate I think varies widely of what people feel comfortable with and notice. You can bring up someone who doesn't notice the 72 Hz versus 90, or someone else is very sensitive to it, so there's no consensus, and I fully understand differences, but at currently 72 Hz, the Oculus Quest is just very underwhelming to me, where I would argue 90 should be the standard, with options to toggle to 120 if possible game by game. Robert also thinks that it will have a 4K screen, which is just fantastic. And all this priced at around $600 for the Quest Pro, with the original Quest possibly lowering its cost to foster adoption by $100 to $150. Robert believes there is no need for a cheaper Quest, as in a way the Quest is already a bare minimum viable VR product, and lowering the price of the original Quest will foster more VR adoption. In his words, there's a bigger market for a better Quest than there is a cheaper Quest, and I'd have to agree. Oculus has hinted at wanting a new product out for the holiday season, yet due to supply chain issues with World Affairs, we most likely will see this in spring 2021, but we should all be paying very close attention to any Oculus Connect announcements, because we are likely going to get massive info there. The more I think about it, the more I agree with Robert backtracking from a few videos back. I think the next Oculus Quest being made is an Oculus Quest Pro or an upgraded version. It is heavily needed. The more I use my Oculus Quest, it's a fantastic headset, but it is showing its lack of power. You look at the Onward situation on how it affected PCVR crossplay. I want more crossplay titles because it makes multiplayer games better, but I do not want to see PCVR have to sacrifice so much to make it work, and a new standalone Quest that's a little stronger may alleviate that, but hey, I'm interested to hear your thoughts on it. Also, Raiz, spelled R-A-I-Z, is doing some amazing stuff, and they are an immersive, content-driven entity focusing on photogrammetry and has really cool stuff in the works coming to the Oculus Quest. As you can see here, very soon we'll be able to explore the literal alleyways of Tokyo. Now they promise that this is just the draft. The full version, even better. PCVR graphics and photogrammetry in a standalone headset. Take a little look here. I can't wait for this. I want to see way more stuff like this in the future, non-game related, that uses the power of VR to really give us these immersive experiences that really without VR, I personally would never be able to experience as much. So this is just really neat stuff. Look forward to this. The Catwalk Seat Kickstarter has also officially ended, and I have a few thoughts on that. And you may have noticed that they absolutely crushed their goal. Originally the goal was $100,000 and it blew past that and finalized at 1.6 million. Due to this final amount, all stretch goals were reached, which will add more hardware and software features, including haptic feedback. Look, this personal at-home slide mill, it's not their first product. They're promising quite a bit. Expectations on this are going to be very high, but I want to believe in them. And although I'm not a backer, I'm happy to see such a successful VR accessory get funded, and hoping it works, because if it does, it's honestly a win for all of us. Keep an eye on the channel, everyone. Longer form 15 to 20 minute content will be coming on single topics, focusing on just the creative aspects in VR, the games that people don't talk about too much, the ones that don't get media attention, the people and developers who are using VR to show the absolute limits of creativity, not worrying about selling a product. But that's for a later date, and that is the end of this video. Please leave a like if you did enjoy it, subscribe and hit that bell icon. See you next time, Space Cowboys.